And I'll also just go ahead and mute. Well, it's up to, I don't know. People can mute themselves if they want. We'll leave it at that since we're a small group.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't we start laying on our back?
Oh no.
What?
Let go. Jeez. Keep going. Keep going.
Are you okay, Ronlyn?
No, I have to go back to the room. Ah. All right. All right. Keep on. Keep on.
Keep on, keep on.
Keep on.
Okay.
Keep on.
So we're gonna lay on our back and let's support our knees. So putting something underneath the knees if you can, so that we can keep our back in a nice stable and released position. So I'm using a little cushion today. You can use pillow, you can use a yoga bolster if you have one. And I'm just gonna, and think about, maybe take a peek down at your legs and think about having the legs, the hips, the ribs, the shoulders lined up as best you can. And I'm going to start with just a little support under my head and neck so that my neck is not strained. So rolling up a little towel so we can support the neck. And then many times after we've been here for a while and done some stretches, you can release that. You can let the neck actually releases a little bit. All right. So let's just take a few breaths here, bring ourselves into our body. So directing the inhale breath down into our pelvis. I like to call it the pelvic bowl sometimes. So where the hip bones, the front hip bones, the AS, and the pubic bone. Imagine those bones as the rim of the bowl. And ideally, and when we have a pillow under our knees, this helps this. Ideally, those bones are, if you were to place your hands on those bones, they would be parallel to the ground. So that's our neutral pelvis, right? If they're tipped up a lot, if you're kind of more here, then you're going to kind of strain the low back a little bit. So we want to just keep nice and supported, and if we can, keep that that pelvic.
I got my glasses.
Oh, good. You're all back then? You're back with us, Ronlyn?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So laying on your back. And we're just going to bring our inhale breath into this pelvic bowl. So just nice long inhale. Let's think about perhaps stretching our inhale and exhale breath out for a count of 5. So inhaling for 2, 3, 4, 5, and then exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as you inhale, maybe imagine that we're pouring water into this bowl, right? And so the water seeps into every nook and cranny. And then as you exhale, feel the base of the bowl just become heavier. The water is heavy through the bowl. The base of the bowl is your sacrum. So let's just take a couple more breaths with that on your own. Inhaling and exhaling.
Thank you.
Just feeling the bones begin to soften into the floor. Now let's go ahead, bring your attention into the low back area. If it's helpful, you can use your hand and place it back behind the low back. For me, on this right side that I'm demonstrating that on, my shoulder is really tight. So that's why it looks really rolled forward. So if that happens for you, I would rather you don't do that, okay? Sometimes having something tactile back there brings attention and awareness to that area. But we're just going to inhale now. Feel the low back become wide as the belly inflates. And exhale, feel the low back bones become heavy, softening to the floor. Let's take 3 or 4 breaths. So again, inhaling for 5 counts, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, counting on your own. Inhaling, just feeling some width. Feeling the diaphragm move down to the belly. And exhaling, bones become heavy. So just really, when the bones become heavy, the muscles can release a little bit. Now let's bring your attention up into the chest, the sternum to start with. So bring your hands onto the sternum or the breastbone, and let's just do a little kind of massaging. So feeling where the ribs come into the breastbone, just kind of massaging those joints there, kind of back and forth, and then all the way up to where the clavicle, the collarbone comes into the sternum, kind of little circular massage there. And then you can just move all the way up to where it comes into the shoulder, feeling that connection. Get all the way over to the other side, of course, as well. Little circular motion. The kind of, again, creates awareness, opens up some maybe tight spaces. And if you have a strained pec in there, maybe it will just kind of release some areas for you, because it's just a gentle little massage there. And then let's do some tapping. Tapping in this bony area. Again, something else to wake it up. Tapping in the bone all the way up to the shoulder, and then maybe along the neck there, and then over to the other side. And all that stuff is really nice for releasing. And now we're going to breathe into that area. And so we're going to inhale into this whole rib cage area and think about widening the ribs. Feel the ribs spread apart. And then as you exhale, feel the ribs close and draw together and help push some of the air out. So inhaling again for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, closing the ribs. Let's do 3 or 4 more breaths just like that on your own with the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And maybe you start to even feel your neck release as you inhaling for 5. Exhaling for 5. Squeezing all the air out. So begin to practice getting every last bit of air out. 1 more breath. Inhaling. And as you exhale, think of softening the ribs, the sternum down towards the floor. Softening the collarbones. And nice. Let's just bring our attention now up into the neck area. We're just going to inhale and do a little head nod, right? So you can think of sliding the back of the head on the mat or on the towel.
Yeah.
You have it supporting your head, sliding it, stretching the crown of the head longer, feeling the back of the neck lengthen and stretch. And we're going to do a few of those. And that is just helping to bring our head in line with our spine. Right? Let's go into that head nod position and stay. Take a breath and widen across the chest. And then staying in that head nod position, we'll do some little mini nods. So nod, giving yourself a double chin. Nod, 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 nod. And then just release. Let your head go where it normally goes. And maybe just notice what is your norm and what feels like a stretch, and know that we want to work towards that nice long neck and crown of the head long. Let's go ahead, find that head nod position again. And then we're just going to, with our chest nice and wide, we're going to turn and look to the right. Like you're going to look over the shoulder into the basement. Bring it back to center. Good wide chest, head nod, turn and look to the left. As far as you can towards the basement, over that shoulder and back to center. Okay, this time we're going to turn and look to the right over the shoulder, keeping those nice open chest. Looking, keep the head turned now, but bring the eyeballs up towards the ceiling and around to the left. And then bring the eyeballs back and look towards the floor. Even further, maybe you get a little more rotation. One more time, eyeballs to the ceiling and to the left, and then eyeballs back down to the right. And then bring the eyeballs forward, and then the head comes forward because the eyes have. So again, head nod, turn and look to the left. Eyeballs really strain to look into the basement there. Keep the head turned and bring the eyes towards the ceiling. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah, good. And then eyeballs back towards the floor, towards the basement. Get a little more rotation in that neck if possible. And then bring the eyes forward, which brings the head forward. Good. And now let's do some, imagine we're going to draw some little circles on the ceiling with the end of your nose. So imagine you have a little paintbrush at the end of your nose. You're again going to find your head nod position. So head is really on top of the spine. Drop the chin a little, and then just tiny circles to start with, begin with, like maybe as big as a quarter. So you're drawing that, and every bristle on the brush is drawing that circle. And then go ahead and make a little bigger circle, perhaps as big as a salad plate. And a little bigger, making it as big as a dinner plate, a big dinner plate. And then back to center. And of course, we'll do that going the other direction. So just your tiny little circles, barely perceptible, as big as tracing a quarter, 3 or 4 circles, and then make your next level the salad plate. And your next level, your dinner plate. Drawing that circle, moving from the head and neck. Awesome. Okay, so keeping our nice long neck, you might be able to take some of your support away from the back of the neck. Now that you've kind of gotten some length back there, let's bring the arms just over the chest. And we're going to inhale, reach, touch the sky. Exhale, drop down. Let gravity drop the arm bones to the floor. So let's do 6 or 8. Just inhale to reach, exhale, drop. Feeling how the weight of the arm bone drops through the shoulder towards the floor. It takes a few to really get those muscles and bones to relax down to the floor, I think. So drop, reach, shoulder blades come apart, and drop, shoulder blades really sink into neutral, sink and ground into the floor. Okay, this time we're going to reach, touch the ceiling, and then continue reaching as you bring the arms overhead. Keep the hands and the arms even with each other. So if one wants to go further, then try and not bring that quite so far back. Take a breath, inhale, reaching a little further. Exhale completely now. Softening the sternum, allowing the sternum and ribs and collarbones to soften towards the floor. Get all the air out, and then get a little more out than you think you can. Then using the inhale, bring your arms back over the chest and drop the arm bones. So let's do 2 more like that. Your timing with your breath may be different than mine. So move with your own breath, but I would like you to really focus on getting every last bit of air out. So as you soften the bones down, and then you might think of pulling the ribs in and squeezing the lungs, right? Wringing the lungs out. So we're going to inhale, reach, exhale overhead. Now deeply exhale. Inhale, bring the arms back and drop the arm bones. Good. Again, inhale, reach. Reaching those hands towards the ceiling. Exhale, overhead. Maybe you feel your neck begin to lengthen even more as you soften and exhale. Soften and exhale. Feel the crown of the head being pulled towards the other wall behind you. Now get every last bit of air out. Belly button to spine. Whenever you're ready, bring the arms back over the chest and drop the arm bones. Nice. Now let's go ahead and press the hands with the palms down into the floor alongside your hips. This is about opening the chest. So pull the chest apart, pull the collarbones apart, feel the shoulder blades, press into the mat, and then reach them down to the back hip pocket. And we're going to press into the floor. So actively pushing the floor away from you. Push. Keep pushing. We'll hold for about 5 more seconds. And you can exhale here. Try and exhale and soften the ribs as you press. Press, opening the chest. Shoulder blades back, down, together. And release. So you're just activating your back muscles. Let's go ahead and bring your hands so that the palms are facing each other, the pinky side down on the floor. So again, opening the chest, shoulder blades back, and then gliding them down towards the hips and press. Stretching the fingertips towards your feet. Press. 2, 3. Actively pushing the back muscles, the back of the arm muscles, and release. And then we'll flip our palms up towards the sky. So now you can really think of rotating that whole upper arm bone, which really helps pull the shoulders back again. Shoulders back and down towards the hips and reach those fingertips. You can think of even bringing the tips of the shoulder blades together as you press. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a breath. Inhaling and pressing still. Exhale deeply as you press. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And release. Good. That was a little extra hold there. Okay, let's just bring your arms now about 45 degrees away from your body. And we'll start with your pinky side down. And again, opening the chest. And reach those fingertips, press into the floor. So shoulders back and down and together. When you're in this position, you can get that kind of together down at the tips a little more. Squeezing those shoulder blades, pressing, reaching, keep pressing. Good, press, activate those back muscles. See if you can feel it all the way down to the mid traps and maybe even the lower traps and lats. Press and then release. And let's flip the palms so that they're up towards the sky. Same thing, opening the chest. Good, shoulders back and down and together. We need to be reminded of that. I know myself. I know I do. So we're going to press, keep pressing and feel those shoulder blades drawing back down and together and reaching the fingertips, opening the chest, and release. Palms down again. So again, opening the chest, same thing. Shoulders back down and together and press. Reach and press. Reach and press. Open and press. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great. So we're going to do those same 3 positions with our arms out in that letter T position. Make a T with your arms. And we'll start with the palms, the pinky side down again. I always think of just when I'm in this position, especially like I'm slicing through the floor. So shoulders back and down and squeeze those shoulder blades together as you push through the floor, opening up that chest. Stay long in the neck. Stay long in the neck as you press back down and together and squeeze down and release. Flip your palms up towards the sky and same thing. Press. Stay long in the neck. There can be a tendency sometimes to like get into the upper traps when we're in the letter T. So make sure that the shoulder blades are drawing down as you press. Nice. And release. And we'll do palms down. So one last time, presses, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great. Let's go ahead now and bring your palms alongside your hips again, palms down. So we're going to do that same idea of shoulders back and down and together, really reaching the fingertips, going into our chin tuck now, and then curl just the head and the neck up. So inhale and then exhale deeply. Shoulder blades stay pressing into the mat. Look into your heart if you can. Breathe into the back body and exhale one more time. And bringing it all the way down. So when you're up there, we'll go up there 2 more times, and but we'll just take one breath to take it up and exhale deeply those next 2 times. But really focus on getting every last bit of air out and see if it helps you get a little more lift. We want to keep the chest open still as we do this, okay? So again, shoulders back, head nod, curl up, you go into a little chin tuck, and deeply exhale. A little more air out than you think you can. And when you've got it all out, go ahead and lengthen out the neck as you come back down. And one more time. So maybe you'll get even longer with this last time. So chest open and curling up. Nice. So I hope you feel a little longer in the back of the neck and maybe a little more connected into your core, especially the upper part of your core, because that's what's getting really activated. All right, let's go ahead, bring your hands now so that actually we'll bend the elbows and have the palms facing each other. Okay, shoulders back and down, of course, neck long. And then imagine we're pressing our hands against resistance. Press the elbows into the mat and into your waistline and open the door, my little door openers, and then controlling it back as if you're still working against that resistance. So we're going to inhale, open, and press. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Keep them activated as you bring the hands back. And one more time, press and open. And bringing the hands back to start. And we'll flip the palms down now just in the direction of your feet. And best we can, keeping this from elbow to hand, a nice flat surface. So not doing any other extracurricular activity there with the hand. And elbows in towards the waist, pressing into the floor and open. Opening the door. Really feel this in the back muscles, but also in some of the rotator cuff muscles around here. They help support that rotation of that upper arm. Let's do that 2 more times. Open. Squeezing those back muscles once you're back there and then controlling it back. And one more time, open. Notice when you squeeze those elbows into your waist that you get a little deeper into the muscles. This time we'll have the palms flipped up towards your face. Same thing, open the door. Good, controlling back. Good, open the door. Controlling back. One more time, opening. Nice, and controlling it back. Good. Let's go ahead now and bring, since we're in this position, I just want you to be able to see my hands. I'm going to tip the screen a little bit more. So we'll do some hand work here. Still staying open, really suctioning those arm bones into the shoulder joint. Reach through the fingertips. Really spread them. Put a lot of energy into spreading them apart. Imagine you're sending energy out the fingertips, and then reach the pinky towards the palm, press down into the palm, press as hard as you can, and drag it back into that extension. You're starfishing your hand. Good. And then take the ring finger, reach towards the palm, press it into the palm, and drag it out. The other fingers kind of go along, but really focus on pressing with that one finger. Now we'll press with the middle finger. Good, press and drag that finger. Good, and then the index finger, press and drag that finger. And the thumb, press across the hand and drag it across. So all the time we're keeping the shoulder blades sucked in, because this whole connection work is aiding in the hand work. Okay, so pinky finger, again, we're going to do 2 more little sets. And then ring finger, press and drag and extend. Middle finger, press, drag and extend. Good, index finger, press, drag and extend. Thumb, press across and drag it out again. Pinky, one last little set. Ring. Index. Extend. And thumb. Great. So let's go. Now, hopefully you feel some of that in the forearm muscles. And it's getting a weird message on my screen there. So let's go ahead now and bring your hands just again so the elbows are bent, and we'll do a few little just wrist circles. But really focus those wrist circles by moving from the fingers. Be really articulate with the fingers, and it moves all the way through the wrist. And we're also keeping the shoulders connected into the back. Go ahead and reverse circles. And really luxuriate in that kind of movement. Find as much space as you can. Good. Now we're going to just pull the hands into a fist and then extend. Okay. As you pull your hands into your fist, think about really pulling the elbows and shoulders back deeper. Okay. So pull into a fist and extend the fingers. Pull into a fist and extend. This time we're going to pull into a fist, pull the fist towards your shoulders, and then extend the fingers and the arms out to the side, and then pull in and extend out. Pull it all together and in. Shoulder blades are activated. Extend it out. Reach as far as you can. Good. Pull it in one more time. And extend it out. Nice. All right. Let's go ahead and come onto our belly. We'll switch our position around here a little bit. No, I'm good. All right. Is everybody there?
No.
That's okay.
Okay.
A minute, huh? Does take a minute. So you guys just get yourself there.
Ah. Okay.
All right. So it's nice to have, if you're on the floor, it is nice to have a towel underneath your handy so that you can put it underneath your forehead. But if you don't have one, that's okay too. We're going to start with just the hands underneath the forehead. So you can let the forehead kind of rest in the little triangle that you make with your hands here. And we're going to do some head floats. But before we start, I want you to, if you're able to engage the low belly, think about lifting that low belly away from the floor, pushing the pubic bone into the floor. Whether you're able to do it or not, I want you to think about doing it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. So you're going to push the pubic bone into the mat, feel the low belly lift up away from the mat, and then float the head up so it comes in line with the spine. Okay. And then staying long, lowering that head back down. So we'll just do that again. So pubic bone, low belly, float up, and really think, I like to think of pulling and energetically pulling the elbows apart and down towards the hips. And then floating back down. So when we do that elbow kind of pulling kind of out and down, it helps activate the shoulder blades down. See if you can feel that. And we'll float the head up again. Crown of the head reaching. Nice. Now, if you're able to, I know a couple of you are able to do this. You're going to keep your hands connected to your forehead. And you're going to lift your whole upper body up. Okay. So I'm going to do it with one hand so you can kind of see what it looks like, but you're going to lift like that. Okay. But we're just going to do a few more head floats so that those of you who are able to do that can do that. And you'll challenge that low belly quite a bit more. So you're going to lift up just so that you're straight arrow. You're sending the crown of your head out into, you're sending yourself like an arrow, shooting an arrow. They're going to float that whole upper body up if you're able to. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Heart reaches forward. Reach the heart forward and lowering down. And one more time. Float up. Heart reaches forward. And then floating back down. Good. Nice. Really, really good. Okay, let's just bring our elbows now underneath the shoulder. So we have a right angle at the elbow. So up onto the elbows. The forearms are on the mat. The hands are on the mat. Okay. And starting with the head in line with the spine. So the tendency many times is to have the head, it kind of falls off the spine. So keeping the head in line with the spine. So the eyes are going to end up being kind of forward of your fingertips. And we're just going to drop the chest. Then find neutral. So that place where you're wide across the chest, but you're also wide across the upper back. And then we're going to press into more of a protraction. So we're pushing the shoulder blades apart. So back to neutral and then drop the chest. Shoulder blades wrap into the spine. Good, then find neutral. Know what it feels like. And then pressing away. Shoulder blades will come away from the spine. Back to neutral. Shoulder blades are actually drawing down towards the back hip pockets when we're in neutral here. And then drop the spine, drop the chest. Nice. Now finding neutral, we'll stay in neutral here. The shoulder blades are still drawing down towards the back hip pockets. Let's anchor, really think about anchoring that right shoulder blade back and down, and you're going to shift your weight over to that right side, so off of the left. And then you're going to shift over to the left side. Okay, so you can begin to unweight one side. And just notice what your body does. We want to keep those shoulders stabilized down, back and down as we do our little shifting. And shift. And shift. Now this next time, we're going to shift to the right and reach the left out to the side. And then pull it back. And then we're going to shift to the left and reach the right out to the side. And pull it back. And shift to the right, reach the left out to the side, pull it back. And again, right reaches, pull it back. Let's do one more to each side. Shift and reach, back, shift and reach, pull back. Good. That can be kind of hard. That's great though. Let's go ahead now and bring yourself back down to the mat. And this is when you might want to have that little pillow for your forehead. There's several ways we can set ourselves up here. So I'm going to show you guys all of the different ways. So if you have good access to your core, you might not need anything under your forehead at all. If you have paralysis and you don't have access to your core, then you might need just something like this that supports your forehead into a place so that it can be neutral, so that it's not hanging over the edge. You can have a long neck. The other option, and I like this option, if you have a big enough towel, you can put it just directly under the sternum. But you still want to have the lower ribs resting on the floor. You can be here, and then you have to really work to keep the head in alignment. And for me, I like this option. So this is where I'm going to be, and you guys can choose your option. Okay, so we find our option, and if you have the towel under your chest, it gives your heart something to reach towards. It gives your sternum something to reach towards. And then shoulder blades back and down, of course. And we'll press, let the palms be towards the floor. And we're going to just lift the arms, keeping ourselves in a nice straight line. Shoulders reach down every time we lift, down into the back hip pockets, lifting just the arms. Squeeze the back of the arms, squeeze the back muscles, stay long in the neck. Good, reach. Let's do 5 more lifts. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you can't stay up there, bring your arms out into the 45 degrees away from the body and lift, reach those fingertips. Aim the shoulder blades into the opposite back hip pocket. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9, 10. All right. Let's come into a W shape. Something a little different. Okay. So your hands are going to be just a little bit wider than your elbows are here. And same thing, lift up and squeeze those shoulder blades. Aim the elbows down toward your hips as you lift. Lift. 2, 2 more. Nice. All right, let's bring our arms now overhead. Okay. And same thing, we're going to do lifts here. You can rotate your thumbs up towards the ceiling as you do it. And if directly overhead is a strain on your shoulder joint, just bring your arms a little bit wider, maybe into the letter Y. And we'll just, let's do opposite, let's do alternating arms. And as you lift the arm, either lift that opposite leg or imagine that you can, okay? So feel this diagonal line through the body. You're gonna lift and reach through the thumb and the hand that's reaching and through the opposite leg. Reach and lift, reach and lift, reach and lift, reach and lift. Good. This is akin to swimming in the Pilates mat work. So reach, reach. If you're up there and you're able to do a little bit more, you can bring both arms up at the same time and pulse your breath. So you can inhale, exhale. So inhale for 5, exhale for 5. So in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. And then go ahead and just take a little break. Come all the way down. Let your head rest on your and release into that kind of rounded forward position. And we'll go ahead now and let's come up onto our side. So just roll to one side so that you can face the screen. And we'll start with our legs long in a long-legged position, okay? As best you can. I know mine kind of tend to bend up a little bit. So we're gonna start on our side, balance hip on top of hip, rib on top of rib, shoulder on top of shoulder, and then ear on top of ear, right? And we're just gonna, you can use this top hand to kind of catch you a little bit and guide you. You're gonna let your hip fall forward and then belly button to spine. Imagine you have this corset around your waist. You're gonna tighten up that corset to help pull your hip back. So of course your hand can help. And if you're able to do it without the hand, then do it, okay? So as we fall forward, and then as you pull back, pull that shoulder blade back and down. So the shoulder blade that's on the mat, you can think of really anchoring it down. Oh, I went too far, but that's good. Experiment and find like how far you can go, and then you'll get better with it. This is a good precursor to just rolling. All right, so now we're gonna stay hip on top of hip here, up on our side, and go ahead and bend your knees so that you're in a hook lying position. So we'll be like that, 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees, or something close to that. Right.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
Everybody doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So what I do sometimes too for my knees, because they tend to flop around, is you can put a towel or a pillow between them, and it's just going to help keep them a little bit more stable. So we're going to start up on our elbow here again, okay? And just drop the waist. Feel how the shoulder collapses there, and then push down into the elbow, shoulder blade back and down, and think of lifting the waist, Okay, we're gonna drop it and then we're gonna lift. So those of you who have a core can really make a lot of this happen from the core. Good. Drop and lift and drop and lift. So good. Then we're going to stay lifted up there. So if this is too much for you, if this position staying up here is too much, you can stay down here. And again, sometimes it's nice to have a towel. If you don't have that access to these lower abdominal muscles, it's nice to have a towel on the waistline. So I'm going to stay down here. And if those of you who want to be up on the elbow can be up on the elbow, we're just going to have the palm face me. Thumb up, inhale, arm goes up overhead, exhale, pressing through as if you're pushing through water. Okay, it's like a side stroke. Inhale up, exhale, glide down, press through water. Inhale, sweep the arm up, find as much space as you can. And then we're going to reverse. So now you can drag the thumb up the body, elbow reaches towards the sky when you can, and then slide up along the ear and reach, and then pull the water back through behind you. Inhale, exhale, and one more time. Inhale, exhale. Awesome. Now let's bring the arm forward and then back around. It's kind of like we're doing the backstroke. Inhale forward and exhale back. And so you can allow the rib cage to move as much as you're able to control and pull yourself forward. Okay, so everyone might look a little different doing that. And truly imagine that you're in the water. You're doing this gorgeous synchronized swimming backstroke. All right, so that should loosen up that shoulder. Let's go ahead and switch over to our other side.
Oh my God. Okay.
Doing okay?
Yeah, I'm going. Gosh. All right. Oh, oh God.
So, getting rearranged
Oh,
here.
okay. Oh. Okay.
Oops, I'm sorry. We got to start with our legs straight first. I am getting ahead of myself there. So on that,
Okay.
that other side with long legs. Okay.
Okay.
So if I've gotten myself here, I'm guessing everybody else has gotten themselves here. It looks like it. Okay, so we're going to allow our hips to roll forward and then use your corset to pull back if you're able to. And if you're not able to, you just use your hand a little bit to bring yourself back into this upright position, hip on top of hip, rib on top of rib, rolling it forward. Corset pulls you back. You can think of belly button to spine. And experiment with going kind of further and further and then pulling yourself back. You might have one side that is easier than the other. I know I do. You can have your hand alongside your body if it feels too easy to have your hand on the floor. Let's do one more. All right. And then we'll just do a little waist drop here. So up onto the elbow again. Shoulders still nice and open, elbow underneath the shoulder. And we're just going to do our little our little hip drop, our little waist drop, and then lift it back up. So waist drop and lift it back up. Belly button to spine, waist drop and lift up. Nice. So feeling this corset really drawing together. So now we'll go ahead and bring our legs into our hook line position. And just do one more little breaststroke on this side or side stroke, however you want to think of it. I like to think of it as one-sided breaststroke. So if you want to be up on your elbow, then you're going to keep that waistline lifted. Otherwise, you can be on the floor. So you're in a nice alignment. And we're going to shoulder back, palm towards knee or towards the front, the direction of your front body. And thumb leads you up and then overhead. And then sweeping, elbow reaches to the sky as you draw the hand down and push through the water. Inhale, sweep the water up. Exhale, press it away. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, press it away. One more time. And now we reverse the motion. Drag your thumb up, elbow to the sky. Reach overhead. Sweep through the water. Shoulder blade draws down to pull the arm down. Shoulder blade pulls the arm down. Let's do 2 more. And 1. And 1 for good measure. Good, good. So let's go ahead now. And if you're able, come up to a sitting cross-legged position.
Let me see.
And so if you, yeah, those of you who might have hip issues, if you can't sit cross-legged, you can also sit with your legs out straight. You can do the sit off the edge of your bed. If you're in your bed, you can sit with your feet on the floor. Okay. We're just going to finish with a little seated cat-cow. Okay.
Okay.
So find your nice long tall spine, crown of the head to the sky, right? Little double chin action. Good. And then pull belly button to spine, look into the heart, look into the belly, haul out the belly best you can. Exhale deeply. Then inhale, rock your sit bones back away from you. Lift your heart, eyes gaze up, shoulders open. And then eyes move down the wall, look into the belly. Deeply exhale. And you can even still think of the breastbone softening backwards. And then as we lift, the breastbone reaches up. And nice, and then let's just come to sitting tall if you can. Bring your hands together. And thank you very much for coming. We'll finish up right there. And if anyone has questions, I'm glad to answer.